Let's take a moment to drop in and finding yourselves in a comfortable, upright position. Hopefully by now, you've done some of this at home and you can settle into the position you're going to start off in. Grounding yourself. Everybody seems to be in the chair, so the feet on the floor, the buttocks on the chair. Elongating the spine upright, allowing the eyes to close or lowering the gaze, whichever you prefer. And perhaps allowing all the activity of this morning, perhaps this weekend, what you may be doing later on, to fade into the background of the awareness and bring your attention onto your breath. Breathing normally, naturally, allowing the breath to be as it is. It's just bringing the attention onto the breath, allowing the breath to be natural. Literally breathing in, knowing you're breathing in, and breathing out, knowing you're breathing out, breath by breath. And then expanding the attention to the body to get a sense for how it is in the body right now, all the different body sensations. And whatever's going on in the body, acknowledging it all, letting it all be, coming to the emotions, what emotions, if any, are present. Acknowledging what may be present, letting it be, coming to the mind. How is it in the mind right now? And again, letting all that be, coming back to the breath, how the breath is right now. And then with awareness, lifting the gaze, opening the eyes. And again, we're working on the AC. They're going back and forth, but remember, it's a little bit out of control in this room. It's connected to the rest of the building somehow. So I appreciate everybody bringing their layers and such. So let's come up to standing. We'll do a few standing yoga poses that we reviewed before. I'll just put this on. Thanks.
Yeah, I need to.
So finding yourselves in mountain pose, and perhaps setting up some room alongside, so perhaps staggering, or if you need to go in the back there, that's fine too. just to have enough room to be able to lift the arms up and not bumping into people unless you want to bump into them. So coming into mountain pose, remembering that can be done with the feet together or feet hip width apart. If it's available for you, having the feet parallel. Grounding into the bottom of the feet, perhaps swaying back and forth, side to side, just to get that sense of contact. Remembering, as we've said before, anything that doesn't feel right, it's okay to modify, adjust, or just skip that position. Coming back to stillness. And then noticing the sensations up the legs, making sure the knees are not locked, bringing the shoulders back, opening up the chest, and then bringing the attention to both arms, raising both arms overhead to a full body stretch, stretching through the fingers up toward the ceiling, pressing into the feet onto the carpet. Reaching, 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 and when you're ready, floating the arms back down. Pausing here. And then bringing just the right arm up and reaching up with the right arm. Perhaps reaching down with the left hand. And to deepen this slightly, if you care to, lifting the left heel up. Sensing the stretch on the right side of the body. Being aware of any tension or strain on the neck. Releasing the heel first and then bringing the arm down. Pausing in mountain pose. Then reaching up with the left hand. Reaching down with the right hand. And if you care to, again, lifting the right heel this time. Deepen the stretch on the left side of the body. You're going to keep breathing, releasing the heel, releasing the arm. Back to the mountain pose. Pausing here. This time bringing both hands up to the ceiling. When you reach the top, holding on to the left wrist with the right hand. If you care to, gently tugging slightly and then bending over to the right. Grounding into that left foot, stretching out the entire left side of the body. All the way from that left foot up to the right, to the left wrist. And only as far as your body's allowing you to go. And coming back up, switching sides, gently pulling up and folding to the left. Noticing all that activity going on the right side of the body. And coming back up, stretching up toward the ceiling, and then floating the arms back down. Pausing for a breath. And getting ready for shoulder rolls, so lifting the shoulders up toward the ears, allowing them to come back and down, and then forward and up. So circling the shoulders. Noticing what's going on in the shoulders, the upper chest, feet. Noticing if you're smiling or grimacing, neutral face. Pausing, reversing directions. Any of these movements and poses can be done with the eyes open or eyes closed. then coming back to stillness, back to the mountain pose, pausing here for a couple of breaths. Ready for the neck rolls now. We'll start simply by tipping and remembering here discomfort, pain is a warning to back off, skip the pose. And here, since we're already in class 4, if you feel there's a need to stretch the neck, or if there's one position that feels really good, that feels right, feel free to stay there, as opposed to what I'm leading you to. Meanwhile, in the meantime, for everybody else, then tipping the right ear to the right shoulder, and then rolling the head forward, across to the other side, and then down again, forward, across to the other side. So they're half rolls in the front. Remembering noises are okay, it's just that pain and discomfort should be minimized or avoided. And then when you come back to that left side, this time going around back, being with great care, rolling along the back, where the head's more tipped back. And then just doing whatever it is your neck needs right now, if anything. You may just need to bring it back to neutral or stretch out one side. Taking all your time, coming back into the mountain pose when you're ready. So now we'll do the spinal twist, beginning with the upper spine only. So the pelvis, the legs, and the feet are pointing straight ahead. We're just turning the upper part of the body. So you may want to place the hands on the hips. The feet can be together or waist or slightly wider than hip width apart. And then from the neutral position, perhaps elongating upright up first, and then turning over to the right, tipping the right shoulder back, the left shoulder forward. Maintaining the straight ahead pose of the legs and the pelvis. Breathing and noticing. And coming back to neutral, pausing here in neutral first, elongating, and then to the left, tipping the head to the left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. And coming back to neutral, pausing here. Getting ready for the entire spinal twist. So only the feet and ankles stay pointing straight ahead. We twist from the lower back all the way through the crown of the head. So we'll go to the right first. So again, if possible, elongating first and then turning all the way to the right. And if it's available for you, turning the head and the eyes to look over the right shoulder. Noticing the effects of the breath as you breathe in and breathe out, what happens to the twist. And releasing back to neutral, pausing here. And then when you're ready, again, elongating first and then twisting all the way to the left. And again, only if it feels right, bringing the head and the eyes all the way over. Look over the left shoulder. and coming back into neutral. Coming into a mountain pose here. Perhaps closing the eyes for a breath or two as we get ready for the balance poses. When you're ready, if the eyes have been closed, opening the eyes, we'll start off with the simple balance pose first. Remembering if you need a wall or a chair to hold on to, is certainly acceptable, perfectly fine. So you choose which leg you want to start off on. We'll do the simple one first. So grounding into that foot and then raising the arms horizontally and the opposite foot. The arms are up in a T position and the opposite foot. Lift it off to the side, or if it feels better to go forward, feel free to do that. Noticing any thoughts, any comparisons, judgments. If you care to flex and bend that elevated foot, feel free to do that. It's not necessary. Noticing, though, if you do, what happens to the balance. And releasing. Shaking that off if you need to, getting ready for the other side. So when you're ready, grounding into the opposite foot and lifting the arms and the other foot now. Breathing and balancing, rebalancing. Aware of all the thoughts and emotions and sensations. And releasing, pausing. And now the second balance pose, the tree pose, and some of you know that fairly well, but I'll review it again. So again, you pick whichever foot you want to start off with, grounding, rooting that foot into the carpet, and then taking the opposite foot, the leg turns outward, and either bringing the heel of that foot up to the ankle, keeping the toe on the ground for balance, or bringing the sole of that foot up against the calf or the thigh, avoiding pressure on the knee, and then using your hands to express the tree in any way you like. Hands can go overhead, they can go in front of your chest, they can go behind your back, on your hips. Coming out of the pose, coming back up, something that happens, yes. And releasing, shaking that one off. And then on your own, coming on the other side. Seeing that everybody has a pretty good idea of what to do. Coming on to the other leg. And releasing when you're ready. Back into mountain pose. For mountain pose, let's go into the chair pose. Remembering that's just simply sitting down on a chair and bringing the hands up, straight ahead, or if you care to, up overhead. Your gaze can be down on the ground or up between the hands, avoiding that pressure in the neck area. Holding for a few more breaths, unless, of course, you need to come out. Feel free to come out anytime. And coming up, releasing the arms, back to mountain pose. Noticing the breath and the heartbeat here. And then we'll do that one again with a forward fold. So I'm turning this way just because of the camera. But we'll do the same thing. So from the mountain pose, when you're ready, coming into the chair pose. And then when you are ready, folding forward. Bending the knees if you need to. This is not so much about stretching the backs of the legs as it is stretching the lower back. So it's not necessary to reach the floor. It's okay to bend the knees a lot. In a sense, letting gravity do the work, releasing the lower back. And then bending with the knees bent, reaching down with the left hand to the floor, lifting the right hand straight out in front of you. And releasing the right hand, planting that, lifting the left hand out in front of you. And coming down with that hand, forward fold for a breath. And then with great care, taking all the time you need, coming back up. Pausing in mountain pose for a breath. And then coming, you could sit right on the carpet here just for a couple of poses. We don't need the mats put out unless you want to. And when you come down to seated, placing the soles of the feet together. And if it's available for you, grabbing the feet with the hands, stretching upward. One modification is to bend forward, to just ease forward as far as you care to. Listening to your own body, feeling into the stretch in the inner thighs, releasing and not doing this without striving or efforting to get anywhere, letting gravity help. And with awareness coming back up if you've been bent forward. Stretching the left leg out in front, bringing the sole of the right foot up against the inner thigh, the left inner thigh. And turning the face over that left leg. And then either reaching up and then folding forward or just simply walking the hands forward and coming into a forward fold, going only as far as your body tells you to go. Again, non-striving, not forcing, sensing into the stretch in the back of the leg and the lower back. And slowly walking yourself back up, switching legs. So the right leg comes out, the sole of the left foot up against the right inner thigh, reaching up, or simply walking the hands out, folding forward over the right leg. And then coming back up. Coming back into a seated position for a breath. Just as a practical issue, we'll go ahead and go into our seated meditation here. So if you care to do it on the floor, you're certainly welcome to do so, or go using your chairs. I'll go over the positions a little as soon as I get set up. And if you're going to be on the floors, I'm just looking around at some people have been doing this, I know, but if you're new to sitting on the floor, you may want to prop up your buttocks and your hips so that your knees are more likely to fall down rather than having them way up like this. This would be fatiguing the lower back. So if you want to pop something underneath, there's some, roll up one of the mats back there, or you can do this from the chair, of course. And then perhaps just letting the legs go wherever they're most comfortable. You don't need to get into that lotus position and such. So you feel free. I'll go over how to move mindfully in this if you get very uncomfortable. And so everybody looks like they're at least setting up. So they're going to set up for the beginning. And the people in the chair know already. I know you've done this before. The feet should be grounded on the floor, elongating upright. Unless you need the back support, it's suggested that you bring your back away from the back of the chair, at least to start off with, and then elongating upright, allowing the natural curve to the spine as much as possible. And then allowing the hands to fall wherever they feel most natural. You have the palms down, palms up, on the knees, on the thighs, and the lap. And then as always, it's your choice to allow the eyes to close or lowering the gaze. And then scanning the body again, making any adjustments, repositioning, so that you're in a position that supports stability and comfort, sense of being grounded and upright, and dignified, whatever dignity means to you right now. And then becoming aware of the fact that you're breathing. Allowing the breathing to happen on its own. There's no need to control or deepen, improve, judge, analyze the breath. Noticing the air coming in the nostrils, you breathe in through the back of the throat, into the chest, expanding the belly. And as you breathe out, there's the contraction, the coming down of the chest and the belly as the air comes out of the nostrils. And then when you're ready, finding the part of the body where the breath is most prominent for you right now, most alive, calling out for your attention. And that may be, of course, the belly expanding and receding as you breathe in and out. the chest, expanding and contracting with the in and out breath. Or perhaps at the nostrils, they expand, and there's a sense of fullness inside the nose as you breathe in that releases as you breathe out, and sometimes you might feel the cooler air coming in and warmer air coming out, or little vibrations or tingling. It may take a couple of breaths to find that area, but once you find that area, allow the attention to rest in that part of the body where your breath is most prominent, most alive, most vivid. And noticing the sensations of breathing here. And of course, when you notice the mind wandering away, noticing the distractions, getting lost in thought, going off to the future, the past, or perhaps there are noises or body sensations that are pulling the attention away from the practice. And you notice that the mind's gone away from the object of the practice, in this case, the breath and the body. Gently and firmly bringing the attention back, and doing so without giving yourself a hard time. It's just what the mind's doing. Coming back to the breath and the body, part of the body where the breath is most prominent. Bringing the attention to the sensations of breathing here. Breathing naturally, allowing the breath to be just as it is.